anybody else could want to share?
Say you're.
Oh, please, Chair. This is the regular scheduled meeting or the special meeting of the regular meeting of the Holiday Island City Planning Commission. I'm Jerry Pittman, Vice Chair. Chairman Dan Keys is out of town, but he'll be participating by Zoom. So let's start the meeting by Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Alrighty. Lynn, can you call the roll, please?
Sure. Chairman Keys, available by phone. Vice Chair Pittman, here. Chairman Dumas, here. Excuse me, Secretary Dumas, here. Commissioner Elwood,
present.
Commissioner Graves,
here.
Commissioner Mills,
Here.
All that commissioner here.
all here, all present.
Do I have a motion to approve the agenda?
I make a motion we approve the agenda.
I'll second.
Ken made a motion to approve the agenda, seconded by Linda. All in favor?
Aye.
Approved. You had a chance to read the minutes from the February meeting? If so, a motion to approve.
I'll move that we approve the regular meeting minutes from February 8th.
I'll second it.
Motion by Lynn, second by Pat. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
No reports. Old business, update on status of city council adopting proposals on the regulations.
Okay, Dan, do you have an update for the status of the adopting the proposals? Hello?
Hello, what was the question?
We're at the point needing an update on the status of city council adopting the proposed zoning regulations.
Okay, it's, the status is that it passed it passed on the first reading. We're going to change directions on that and reissue a new ordinance with all the updates that we're going to be discussed here today.
All right, thank you, Dan. I will move on to new, is there any discussion on that? No, anybody? Okay. Let's move on to new business. Resolution R 22-003, amending commission meeting schedule time. Lynn, can you read that?
Certainly. Resolution HICPC R22003, a resolution amending commission meeting schedule time. Whereas the Arkansas statute ACA 1456-407 directs the Holiday Island City Planning Commission HICPC to provide at least one regular meeting each quarter of the year, and whereas the HICPC has held 12 public meetings since August 10th, 2021, and whereas the regular meetings scheduled for 3 p.m. have occurred only 3 times, and other meetings more frequently at earlier times, providing for more available time during normal business hours, and whereas the HICPC finds it appropriate to revise its rules that were established by Resolution HICPC R21-2 on August 10, 2021. Now be it resolved by the Holiday Island City Planning Commission that Section 1, Resolution HICPC R21-2 shall be repealed. Section 2, the following text shall be adopted by HICPC as the rules for scheduled times and dates. The regular meetings of the HICPC shall be held on the second Tuesday of each month at 1 p.m. in the boardroom of the district office at 110 Woodsdale Drive, Holiday Island, Arkansas. Every attempt will be made to publish the agenda for regular meetings 2 business days prior to the meeting. Special meetings can be scheduled by the HICPC chair as necessary with the proper 2-hour notification to those members of the public and press that have requested notification. Public notification of meetings will be made in a manner similar to the method used by the City Council of Holiday Island with assistance from the district. If circumstances beyond the control of HICPC chairman or commission prevent in-person meetings at said location with a minimum of 2-hour notification. The meetings can be moved to another location or be conducted via Zoom internet using, or be conducted via internet using Zoom or another suitable application. Section 3, this resolution will remain in effect until such a time as the time, location, or method of notification are revised by resolution of the HICPC or established by ordinance by the City Council of Holiday Island. Pass and approve this date.
Do I hear a motion to,
Make a motion, we approve resolution HICPC R22-003.
second?
I'll second.
Motion by Ken, approved by, seconded by Linda. All in favor?
We have discussion or not?
Okay, yeah, I skipped a beat. Any discussion? Okay, seeing that there's no discussion, let's, roll call vote, please.
Chairman Keys? Vice Chair Pittman?
Yes.
Secretary Dumas? Yes. Commissioner Elwood?
Yes.
Commissioner Graves?
Yes.
Commissioner Mills?
Aye.
All in favor? Different.
All right, that passes. All right, resolution R22-004, adopting amended text, revised format, zoning regulations.
Resolution R22-4, the resolution adopting amended text and revised format zoning regulations in order to establish zoning regulations, fees and penalties for violation thereof, and for other purposes for the City of Holiday Island. Whereas pursuant to ACA 1456-416, the Holiday Island City Planning Commission, HICPC, has determined it necessary to develop zoning regulations for the entire area of Holiday Island to provide districts of compatible uses for unified development, for the elimination of non-conformance, and for other matters of general welfare of the city. And whereas the City Council adopted Ordinance 2022-2, establishing the Holiday Island Board of Adjustment on January 18, 2022, that is pursuant to ACA 1456-416 and following. And whereas the City Council has been advised by its legal counsel that city ordinances have not yet been officially codified, so should not be formatted like city codes. And whereas the HICPC now finds it to be the best interest of the citizens of Holiday Island to recommend to the City Council an updated and reformatted text of zoning regulations in its entirety, including the zoning map and zoning map table, and specific text from City Council Ordinance 2022-2 to better provide for clarification of terms and uses for zoning. Now be it resolved by the Holiday Island City Planning Commission, Section 1, that the attached zoning regulations, the zoning map, and the zoning map table be recommended to the City Council of Holiday Island for adoption. Section 2, that the attached ordinance shall be considered by the City Council of Holiday Island for adoption. Passed and approved this date.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move to approve.
I'll second.
All right,
I'll second.
you're like, motion by Linda, second by Lynn. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, we have a number of edits that have been made since the first reading of the City Council. And I have a study document that I passed out that will help us get through those without looking at all 160 pages of the attachment. An entire document is available on the website as a working document, so if you want to scroll through that and see it. Edits then that we need to consider. On page 5, it's now called section 1.01, the City of Holiday Island zoning regulations. We added the text that I highlighted in this work document to include the City of Holiday Island UBL, the unit block lot zoning map table, which are on file in the office. The document in the first reading did not include the zoning map table by name. So it's part of the regulations and it's relied upon for determining what the zonings are by unit and lot. So it's important that we include it. Any questions or suggestions for that page 5 edit? Okay, next was on the bottom of page 5 into the purpose text that we've added to the end of that to make sure that we cover the declarations to the point that we need to. It ends that last sentence with, in Arkansas, and to the extent that these declarations of reservations. Did I read something out? Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Should read in to the extent that these declarations of reservations remain relevant.
Okay.
We're gonna add relevant.
Remain relevant.
The purpose of that statement is that at some point in time, the declarations of reservations may be declared null and void due to lack of enforceability or something.
Okay. All right.
That was in the copy.
Yeah, it was. I just didn't get a copy to my notes. Okay, remain relevant. Any other discussion then about that point? Okay, on page 19 in section 604, I changed the text or the word from will to with, so that it makes sense. Okay. Then on page 21, in the residential district's uses, as Linda and I worked through the table and the map back on March 19th, I believe, March 9th, we discovered that there were duplexes in our city that are by definition townhomes. So when I looked at the table that's on in section 7.02, you'll see that on the second page of the notes. I recommend that we change the R2 for townhomes and condominiums to be conditional, so that if someone builds a duplex and it's forming two homes in under one roof, if it is a townhome, then we have it as conditional, because up above in the original version 1, if you will, it's not permitted. We have townhomes and condominiums not permitted in the first reading of the table, and I recommend we change it to conditional to ensure that they are, in fact, a condominium or a townhome if they're a duplex. So that's makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay, we have to verify that. Okay, then on page 43 in section 21.08, street frontage and access easement, the text is there in the note that I passed out. And the notes to be considered then is this section 21 is the general standards of zoning uses in Holiday Island, and 2108 is the minimum frontage. I believe that means the width of the lot along the street, what a frontage would be. On page 51 through 52, the appendix at the back shows the frontages are 75 feet in the covenants that are available. So in this section 2108, it says they shall be a minimum of 50 feet and 35 feet if they're on a curved cul-de-sac or a curve of some kind. And my recollection in our discussion of going through all these notes, when we talked about 2108, it was about new construction or new development areas, that we wanted to make certain the lots were at least 50 feet wide on the street. So in order to clarify or to make certain that it's not a conflict with what we have in the appendix 7 and 7.2, I recommend we add to the very front of that sentence, except as otherwise specifically provided in appendix 702 residential districts, lot yard in height regulations, comma, each lot would continue on.
Is that on page 43?
The table is on page 51. It's the
First of all, Lynn, I have to apologize. When I questioned this whole paragraph, I was thinking about setbacks, not frontages. So I'm not so concerned about this paragraph anymore. It seems, reasonable. Even a 50-foot wide lot would, it'd be hard to meet the square footage requirement of any building with a 50-foot frontage, I guess, unless it's a pie-shaped lot.
Okay, so is it okay with you then that we leave it at 50 feet in 2108, or should we make it larger?
I think we can leave it at that, and, but if somebody ever plots a lot that small, they may find out that it's virtually impossible to build on it.
Well, our discussion also included, when we talked about townhomes and duplexes, that they would take a property that might be 75 feet wide and split it in half, and so it would have been less than 50 feet wide to make it individual ownership. So that's how a lot could be less than 50 feet.
Yeah. Yeah, there are lots in Holiday Island right now where the lot lines, the side lot lines aren't 90 degrees to the front, so it is somewhat irregular shape, which widens the lot out, back where the house would actually be, so. The 50 feet is, we don't want to go less than 50, that's for darn sure.
Okay, well, I added the text to say except as otherwise specifically provided in the appendix, so that we would have that minimum frontage controlling it rather than this paragraph 21.08.
Okay.
So whatever we adapt in the appendix going forward would be in control.
Right.
I mean, to me, it makes sense to have the 50 feet in there, and if there's some, if there's a lot to where.
There's a whole bunch of 30-foot lots right over here.
Exactly, yeah, they're broken up. So anything done in the future, according to this portion of the regulations, would have to be a minimum of 50 feet.
So that makes those lots.
Right now, they would do it, if these 30-foot lots exist, or anything less than 50 would not be, they would be non-conforming, but we don't change them. They're just non-conforming under our current statute. Okay, any other questions about that section of 21.08? All right. Then on the zoning map, if you scroll through that online document, the map is there. And I just want to make a comment that I very much appreciate the work session that I had with Linda on March 9th, where we went through that we spent over 4 hours in here going through the map and the table. It turned out that we found things that need to be changed, and the map primarily has revised areas that show the HICPC green spaces, and I revised several areas we found in R1 and R2, and then we added some unit numbers that we found while we investigated the records from the county. In the last 60 pages of the zoning map UBL table, again, thank you, Linda, for your help. We updated multiple street addresses that were blank from the records that we had, and we updated multiple zones that were not available until we looked at the data scout record to find out that they were residential or finding out that there was a certain address and determined they were commercial. So the table has lots of edits. If you scroll down through it, you'll find them all highlighted in yellow. And when we get to, when I present this to the city council, if we approve this, all these revisions today, all the yellow highlights will be removed from this and the working document, so that they'll have a clean piece of paper. So they're highlighted today because
This is all part of the first part of the residential we were doing, right?
it's the same document, the same zoning regulations.
Okay.
And
And is that still out for the lawyer looking at, or what are we doing?
Dan, does the
I
attorney?
have not sent this latest update to Justin yet. He was working on two other things for me. One is the nuisance ordinance, and the other was the ordinance accepting the dedication of the two streets, Hawk Drive and State Line. I wanted to get those done before I threw another one at him. I do have one of the two back, so I'll be getting this to him for review as soon as it's approved here by the Planning Commission.
I have no other edits to cover. It's the rest of the document's the same, unchanged.
Any other discussion? Roll call.
Roll call. Chairman Keys,
Yes?
Vice Chair Pittman,
Yes.
Secretary Dumas, aye. Commissioner Elwood,
Aye.
Commissioner Graves,
Aye.
Commissioner Mills,
Aye.
all in favor.
All right.
Oops,
Motion
I'm
passes.
embarrassed to say.
Motion passes.
Motion
Can't help
passes.
myself.
All right.
When are you coming back?
yesterday.
Any public comments?
He's a high price baby.
Well, we only have one public here, so.
Any comment?
Come on, tell us
It's your
something.
chance to participate.
Are you calling on me?
Well, you're the only public we've got, so if we want a public comment, you're gonna.
No comments.
All right, thank you for coming, Bill.
No.
Uh-oh, we lost our power. There
Carroll
goes,
Electric is down at the,
there goes the Zoom meeting. The Zoom meeting took, the router will be out.
Sign from God.
Of what?
No, because we're doing Zoom for convenience, and our website says that there are things that happen that we're working to overcome.
Zoom meeting still seems to be going.
Well, good, and the router was,
Well, we didn't lose our internet connections.
okay, good.
All right, I have a motion to adjourn.
Chairman, should we talk about regular meeting scheduling?
Yes. I'll repeat this.
It's okay. So, a month from now, the second Tuesday, 1 p.m. is?
I don't have a
Does
calendar.
anybody have a calendar handy?
I can get one.
I can
Yeah,
get
but
one.
on my phone, though.
Second Tuesday.
Yeah.
That would be May 10th.
May 10?
Yeah.
1 p.m.
Stop it.
That's what I got. Made it then.
At this point, I don't think we need special meetings.
Meetings or-
If the attorney gets done with the review of these first pages, and it isn't crazy, then we'll consider moving forward with the documents that we had marked reserved.
Sounds good.
I don't know.
All right, motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
I'll second it.
Motion by Ken to adjourn, second by, Pat.
It's
All
such
in
a
favor?
tough name to remember.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, this meeting is adjourned.
Push your green button.